So first, I really want to thank Alex for this, placing us next to the Bikram yoga. You've seen that? I was like, walking at 8:30 a.m. Just all grown up and seeing like dozens of sorry girls in bikini, and I thought, this is E2EVC?
Oh.
Wow, man!
Awesome. I haven't slept all night to see it, but it must have been missed.
No, well, actually, this is.
This session, I mean. What did you saw?
No, but this is good as well. So let's start, right? So again, thanks everyone for being here and attending this session, and thanks for Alex, really. So I'm from SmartX. We are the creators of the Control App real-time management platform, specifically designed for SBC, RDS, VDI environments. And obviously, we were sponsors of Synergy as well in the last 3 weeks. And during Synergy, we were at the booth, obviously. Doing lots of demos to, I think, like 200 demos straight. Was really crazy. But the interesting is that during all of those demos, a lot of consultants, some of them I think are in this room right now, they kind of approach us and say, listen, this is, I know the end customers are obviously the enterprise customers, but we found it very valuable for a consultant as well. There are some things here that make it a very good fit for anyone doing consultancy services for enterprise customers, especially with then apps and desktop. And I figured for this session, what we'll do, I'll try kind of show you some of the features in our management platform that actually work for guys doing consultancy services. Hopefully you'll find it interesting. Again, questions, anytime. We're a very community for, looking out kind of company. We keep speaking with CTPs, with consultants, getting their feedback. We actually have a kind of a feature request button inside the product, and we actually look at this, right? We actually are doing the product management meetings. We look at the feature requests, and some of them are really good. And I'm really hoping from this session to get some good feedback, some good ideas, what's missing, what's needed for monitoring and managing Zen apps and desktop Horizon environments. Right. So let's start. I think the first thing is what we call ease of deployment, and this is something missing, I think, from a few other similar solutions. And I want to show you. Let's focus on the XenApp 6.5 folder. So basically, ease of deployment is obviously important to customers as well, but for consultants, this is crucial, right? You can't come into a door and a customer and say, hey, I want to run something, but please install for me a SQL database. I need a virtual appliance. I need 10 servers, whatever. So no, this is not the case. Control App, this is a single executable. It's a portable executable. Just download this from our website. And once you launch it to the customer network, actually I want to show you how it looks like, right? So this is, we have a full XenApp 6.5 production farm. And just before this session, Eugene, who works with me at SmartX, he kind of uninstalled the Control App component from all the servers, right? So what we're doing right now, we're choosing, we have, I think, 14 XenApp 6.5 servers. And basically, by the way, the list of servers comes from the Active Directory domain, right? It's automatically showing you the objects. So once Eugene clicked on OK, what happens in the background right now, the console is pushing our 2 megabytes agent to those 14 servers. The only prerequisite is .NET 3, that's it. And obviously it's there because you have Citrix or VMware. And we pretty much finished the Control App deployment at the customer side, right? So something like 30 seconds, you see it start coming in, the data, and that's it, right? So ease of deployment, I think it's, it's really crucial if you want to use it as a consultant at obviously at new customer sites. And that's it, we're up and running. We can start seeing the data, start do some stuff, and we'll show you, what you can do with that, which help in your day-to-day routine. So that's it, we're up and running. Now, Control App was always about real-time display, real-time performance management, showing you what's going on, allowing you to drill down, to move between views, to do some actions. How many of you guys, by the way, have seen the console before this session? See, okay, yeah, great. So I can actually finish right now? No, okay. There are some new stuff, so right. So this is the XenApp 6.5 farm. As you can see, each line here is basically a XenApp farm we are currently managing with the platform. And we basically show two types of performance metrics. One is the basic Windows performance metric, so anything from CPU usage at real time, how many user sessions are done, memory, disk, you name it. We've got a pretty extensive list. Anyone can obviously customize this based on his demands. And in addition to the Windows performance data, we also show XenApp-specific data. And this is, by the way, on the session in Rome, we displayed the Controller 3 beta. And I'm happy to say that this was released around 2 months ago. And Eugene, can you show them the XenApp columns on screen? You can see we added some pretty important stuff like the worker group, the load evaluator, the current data collector, so stuff that really makes sense when you're doing a real-time performance management. Because if something goes astray, this is a great place to see it. You can obviously sort the grid based on any column. You can do grouping. We have search filters. So if I want to make sure, for example, that all servers are in the same, using the same load evaluator, I can either sort the grid based on that column, or I can simply drag it to the grouping area, and this will group the grid based on that column. So allowing you a very quick way to see, kind of configuration differences, etc. Now, obviously, we have other views. The sessions view here, by the way, this is a flat list of all the user sessions in your environment. So if you want to see, how many users are currently logged on, which user is currently causing an issue. For the sessions view, you can see we have a different set of metrics. So obviously, logon times and all those boring stuff, but we also have real-time performance metrics. So CPU and memory for each session, and we keep, extending that data set. We now support ICA latency in real time. Now I have to say, anyone who's been working with the Citrix API might know what I mean, that ICA latency sucks. And this is for a simple fact, ICA latency, if the session is active but no one is touching the keyboard or mouse, so it's idle, then latency will start go up. This API will show an ever-increasing ICA latency. So it's not 100% accurate, but if you kind of merge this with the state and the idle time, then it gives you a really good indication of the ICA session latency. And the great thing is about that, you can see like your 6,000 user sessions in the same screen, and just click on ICA latency and see right now the topmost ICA latency users. And then you can avoid calling them, just let them continue working with their poor latency. Right, so one other thing we can do, and which is pretty cool, we can see processes. So we can see processes across the board, again, in your entire managed infrastructure. And obviously, we have a different set of data metrics for processes. And one thing we added in, by the way, what you're seeing here, I haven't mentioned this before, the current major release is Controller 3.0. This is out there, you can download it, you can play with this. What you're seeing, this is a pre-beta of our next major release, Controller 4.0. So if we'll see any crashes, you have to excuse me in advance. But we have added, you can see it right now, for the processes view, we added the new I/O metrics. And this is pretty cool because it's kind of hard to see the real-time process I/O usage. Task Manager doesn't show it. It only shows I/O operations, which is pretty stupid. Not sure what they have there. You have to use perfmoon. And so if you see an issue, you have to log on to the server, launch perfmoon, load the really annoying process object, you know what I mean? So in here you can simply go to the process view, you click on I/O per second, and you immediately see which processes, and the keen-sighted guys can probably notice some of the agents out there causing some I/O issues. I won't mention the name, but it's on screen. Anyway, we can also search for, obviously, search for processes. So, for example, right now I want to see if anyone is using PowerPoint on our environment. So we can simply type PowerPoint, no one, right? Oh, maybe Eugene misspelled this. Or iExplore, right? You want to show the PowerPoint, right? Okay. So iExplore is one of my favorite applications because it's a great application for demos. Always use a lot of CPU cycles, etc. So right now we can see a process causing havoc from a CPU point of view. And now this is great, seeing the process in real time, see what's causing that, but we can do more. right? Let's say you want to see exactly which browser window is causing this issue. So we have a pretty nifty option called Get Session Screenshot, which is great for spying on your friends, your bosses, but also for troubleshooting performance issues. So once you do that, we basically in the background we are kind of clipping the end user session to give you kind of a behind the shoulder look of what he's doing, without even contacting him, and the end result would be seeing the end user screen in real time. And this is great for obviously for performance troubleshooting, because especially in end user environments, sometimes the CPU or any performance issues are very short living, right? So by the way, this is the end user screen right now. So he's seeing ESPN, I know NBA, something. So this allows me to correlate the specific browser window in this case, and again, this could be relevant for any Windows application, with the real-time performance issue. And we actually have some customers that were chasing, yeah, sure.
Does that bring up the window, or does that bring up the screen? So in other words, if that window is minimized, does it bring up the one that's minimized so it's actually what the problem actually is?
That's actually a great question. The content will be supplied by Alex after the...
The content is more the expensive part.
Okay, I'll bring some vodkas. Okay, it's on me. So yeah, the thing is that the API for this is pretty limited. So the only thing we can do is get screenshots from not Maximus but foreground windows, right? So either published apps or desktop, we need it to be in the foreground. So kind of to allow you to see, for example, browser windows when the session is minimized, you can show them the, we have a script-based action, and we'll reach there in a while, but we have an option to right-click and process and run a customized action we call IE URLs. And this basically just runs a simple code inside the user session. It will show you the exact titles of each browser window. So yeah, for this situation when the browser will minimize, you can use this section right here. Right, so real-time visibility. So this is I guess the first piece of feature set we do supply with ControlUp. So when you combine this with an ease of deployment, you can see that in like, I think less than 10 minutes, you can have a full-blown ControlUp installation in a large environment up and running. You can start seeing performance issues. You can tell the customer, hey, look, this application is causing issues. These guys are currently watching porn sites, whatever is interesting for the end customer. So this is real-time visibility. Now the second thing, and the second point, I think it's also very important for consultant type guys, is our coexistence support. Right? So usually customers, they have, and I find it more and more right now, they have the XenUp 5 legacy environment, a few 2003 servers for all those old apps. They have XenUp 6.5 for their main production environment. They are playing with Zen Desktop for like 100 VMs or more, depends on the customer. And maybe they also started playing with Zen Desktop 7.5, right? Although some features are missing, as I mentioned before. So one of the cool things here is that we basically support all the versions at the same console. So you can see on the tree there, this is the tree that contains all the managed computers we have in our lab environment. So we have a coexistence of both XenUp 5, XenUp 6.5 and Zen Desktop 7.5, and obviously support both the client OS and the server OS. So RDS, VDI, all of them can be managed in the same console. And if you scroll up a bit, you can see, by the way, we started playing with VMware Horizon 6, the RDS 8 support, so we have the beta installer on our lab. So we can actually see, and this is something I guess the vendors will love to see, RDSH with Horizon 6 and XenUp 6.5 on the same platform. So we can do some performance comparison, see sessions from all the environments, etc. So again, when you go to a customer site, even if he has multiple environments, you can display all of them in the same console. Right? Okay, so coexistence, we went over that. The next big piece is what we call multi-target management. And this is the ability to execute actions from within the console. So it's not only a real-time monitoring application, it allows you actually to do stuff. So Eugene, you can go ahead and right-click like a computer object, for example. We can show you some of the stuff we have enabled. So we basically offer different actions or different management execution options for different objects. So if it's a computer object, doesn't matter if it's a server or a workstation, you can see it on screen, the things we can do from the console. So everything from refreshing the group policy, which makes sense in a Xenop 6.5 environment, some simple power management stuff, running a process, basically anything you want. And not sure if all of you see this, so I do want to show you some of the more advanced stuff. You see the managed services, managed registry. So we found that even if customers are implementing single image solutions like PVS, MCS, yeah, sorry. Yeah, it is. So you can customize the column set, right? Yeah. Yeah, I'll get there in like 5 minutes.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You have to drink after that. Right?
Also.
Yeah. Yeah, this is actually it's a pre-beta. It's a pre-beta version, so don't tell anyone about that. They'll start sending us email.
The functionality is out there for a long time.
Yeah, so everything we've seen so far besides the I/O metrics for process are included in version 3. Right, so, but yeah, this is a kind of a pre-beta release. We hope to reach the beta phase in a few months.
My real question was,
You won't get another shot, so this is a single shot. Yeah. Yeah.
Does anything affect the
Oh.
shows like
Oh yeah, it's a good question. Actually, I know that, yeah, and when we speak about agent-based solutions, then everyone is worried from the agent footprint. And this is because some vendors have given agent-based solutions some bad rap. So I get that. Actually, I can show you the agent performance right now because we have a real-time dashboard, right? So we can go to processes. Our agent is called CO agent. That's the service executable name. And you can see on screen the footprint in real time. We have a single agent, obviously, for each Xenop 6.5 server. CPU footprint is usually around 0%, memory around 80 megs, and no IOPS. We are not creating any IOPS because it's an in-RAM agent running API calls, sending the performance updates back to the console. Yeah, thanks. Oh, no drivers, no hooks, no compatibility issues. A really low footprint agent. So it's very low. We have a few algorithms in place that the updates are sent only when something actually changes, right? So although we do, the data you're seeing here, the max update interval is, or I should say, the interval is 3 seconds, right? So anything you're seeing, if you're comparing to Task Manager, for example, it should be the same. Although we do that, we'll not keep sending updates if nothing dramatic has changed, right? So if a CPU of a process changed from 2% to 2.5% or 3%, we're not going to send that. We have a few basic algorithms in place that send only relevant data. So from a network perspective, it's usually a few, like a few hundred bytes per update, nothing that ever affects the data center environment. No, actually I missed 2 shots here.
We're all going to be drunk by the end of this session.
Yeah, so the good thing is that, the good thing is that the agent will, yeah, from the booth, right. So, yeah, you can help me with this. Scalability, yeah. So, just a sec to answer the question, the agent, we utilize the WCF, Microsoft Windows Common Foundation Protocol, so the agent can speak with multiple consoles at the same time, sending in updates. We have customers with something like 30 concurrent consoles, for the Elders team, Citrix team, NOC team, whatever, and the agent footprint is exactly the same. Yeah. Well, it's easy. It's completely different. No, it's NetScaler. HDX Insight is more of a networking monitoring solution, showing you the ICA protocol in real time.
Would you integrate, for instance?
Well, this is something we're actually working on.
Okay, great.
Right, to integrate, to bring data from third parties, because we're currently missing the, for example, we show you the ICA latency, but we can't show you obviously a breakdown of the virtual channels. This is something which doesn't currently being gathered here, so we'll either do it ourselves or hook up with some third parties. Yeah, but it's a different offering. Okay, so I started speaking about the management actions. I want to show you something which I think is pretty cool and useful, especially if you're a consultant troubleshooting an issue right now. So again, let's take the XenApp scenario because I'm a XenApp guy, sorry. So we choose, let's say we have like, again, this is a 15, let's focus on the XenApp 6.5 environment again. We can go ahead and select multiple servers, and let's say we now have an application issue, right? So one application start failing on a single server, but it's still working on other servers. And sometimes these things happen because of configuration differences, right? Something was misconfigured on a single instance. So when we select multiple objects and we click on the Manage Registry, what we are doing basically is we're showing you a merge view of the local machine hive with some color-coded differences, right? So this should be look really familiar. This is the local machine hive, similar to regedit. But if a key is yellow, then it exists on all of them. And the same for values, right? So if you see a value without any exclamation mark, it exists with the same data on all of them. But if something is different, we can immediately see that, right? We can see, based on the colors, something is missing, something is different. Now, this is super valuable. We got lots of feedback from customers saying, yeah, I found, a misconfigured registry key on one server that caused issues for like a year. No one can spotted that. Obviously, when you work with PVS or MCS, this is usually not the case, but we have seen a lot of farms that use PVS or MCS, and still after even if they're doing weekly reboots, and I see customers doing daily reboots, by the way, which is crazy, but still needed, I guess. So even if you're doing a daily reboot, when you look at this at the end of the working day, you will see differences. And these might be causing issues, misconfigured registry keys. We can also show you the file system. So if you suspect someone installed a private DLL on one of the XenApp hosts, this is an excellent place to see it. Just browse to the Citrix program files, go to the System32 folder. This is an excellent question, and I have to give you a shot because it cannot right now. Actually, we got a lot of requests to enhance this view to show you only differences. We are working with that. It's a bit, it introduces some, this is for the future question.
Okay.
Yeah? I know you raised your hand. Yeah.
No, actually, you can use this for NCS as well. If you have problems with various networks, you can registration, right? You can actually take a look at the
Yep. That's completely right. Yeah, this is a use case we keep seeing because of some VDC registration issues which appear to be quite common. Yeah, so these are some of the use cases which the controllers are available for file system, registry services, you name it. Now,
can I just point out
yep.
a popular feature here that was popular with the consultants specifically that coming to us in Synergy. So if I pick a couple of user sessions, I can actually do the same for active HKey current user hives, which is pretty cool, because I don't know any other products in the vicinity that can do the same.
Yeah.
So you can actually compare and perform operations on concurrent HKey current user hives, which is pretty cool.
Now this makes sense when you have policy issues. Now obviously Citrix is storing their policies in local machines, so you can see that, but Microsoft policies are in here. Right, so local current user software policies, and you can see, not compare the what actually is configured on the domain, but what actually is applied on the endpoints. And again, the differences view will be shown here. Now, by the way, this is just a sec. This is also, again, this is not only a read-only approach. Similar to the grid, you can also do stuff here. You can do remediation right from within the controllers. You can right-click any registry value, any registry key, and just create a new one, edit an existing one. So. Just a sec, I had a question here. I'm afraid not right now. Please use the feature request button to add this. This is useful. Yeah. Definitely. I'll show you. No, I'm kidding.
No, don't.
So Eugene is showing you the security policy screen. This is actually very customizable. We try to kind of, when Citrix is doing good stuff, we try to copy it. So if you remember the App Center and or whatever you call it now, Delivery Services Console or AMC, I can go on and on with the names. Studio now, yeah. So we have a full-blown security permission delegation module. You can delegate any action, any folder based on AD groups. So you can create a completely customizable console for your help desk team, tier 2 guys, whatever. Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
Any aspect of the product that gets stored in the database
I should have given you 2 because you're a woman, but I have only 1, sorry. So,
one is perfect.
yeah.
I don't plan on using double.
That's what they all say in the beginning, right? Actually, on the last day of Synergy, we were kind of doing doing 40 demos in a row. It's I was like a robot. Someone coming, this is the console. So we actually brought a vodka and a tequila to the booth. And yeah, I think some of you have seen that. And we are from Israel. It's I guess more of a European culture, and we're a bit afraid that the Americans will not get this really, bringing hard liquor to a booth on a business conference. But after 30 minutes, when the battle was over, all culture differences faded away, and it was
A great equalizer.
yeah, just works out of the box. So yeah, so the question, right? So yeah, so can you go back to the grid? Yeah, I almost forgot it. Almost. There was a question there. So right, so everything you're seeing on screen right now, the performance data, this is stored in an in-RAM database on the computer running the console, and this allows us. Obviously, it helps with the ease of deployment, right? No SQLs, all that stuff, and also it scales very well and gives a very high performance when managing large environments. You're seeing Eugene playing with the poor internet we have here, but again, if oh yeah, someone helped us. Thanks. Yeah. So even if you manage like 5,000 user sessions with a single console, the grid will work the same because it's an in-RAM database. You can sort, you can play. It's wonderful. Now, we do support historical reporting. Obviously, this is something that customers keep asking for, and I get it. So we're doing basically 2 things. It will be a long answer. Sorry. So we're doing 2 things. One, you can export the performance views you're seeing on screen to a file share. A very basic feature. You can simply say, listen, I want to dump all views, computer sessions, whatever, let's say for every 1 minute to a central file share. So eventually you'll end up with a file share with like dozens, millions of files, depends how much you store the data. And then you can use our built-in, sorry, it's not a built-in, it's a standalone executable called Controller Reporter, which you can download directly from here. And this is basically a reporting tool, which you point it to the data folder with all the exported data, and you can create reports, CPU graphs, user session activity, application usage. We try to keep adding more reports. We are not EdSite, obviously, right? So it's not the main focus of the product, but there is some guy from Terminal Services Log. I think they are doing the reports for Terminal Services, but we keep expanding this because it seems like customers are missing reports. So this is just as like this is one thing we are doing. So basic exports, you can have all the data, and the good thing about it is, although it's very basic, you can store as go way back as you want. And the other thing we're doing, you know what? I'll show it to you. Let's take questions first, and then I'll show you the other thing. Yeah, someone there was.
Yeah, can you tell me more about the license?
Yeah, I haven't said anything yet, so I can start. Yeah. Actually, licensing, Amir, we have here, we brought a sales guy to UVC. He's hiding in the back.
It's from a technical approach.
We get before.
Yeah, so 2 things about licensing. First, it's like any other thing in Control App, it's very simple, very straightforward, no complicated SKUs, and it's not NetScaler VPX with platform license and AGE, and no. So 2 things. First, and this is more relevant to this room, I think, we have an expert, what we call a Control App expert program. It's kind of a community program. Basically, I think almost anyone in the room is qualified for our expert license. This is a full-featured, free annual license for unlimited environments, unlimited sessions. You can simply send us an email. Okay, we verify that you're, a CDP or an MVP or a vExpert or someone who's, contributing to the community, doing some blogs, or just, similar to that, and then you get the license. And I think there are quite a few guys in the room right now that have the expert license. Yeah, over there. Yeah, go ahead, just apply for it, send us an email, I'm here for the conference. Just approach me and we'll do that. Now, regarding the end customers, very basic. It's based on end user sessions, concurrent end user sessions. So just to give you a ballpark idea, if you have a customer with 1,000 user sessions concurrently, which is kind of a medium environment, the cost is $7,500 annually. Right? $7,500 annually for unlimited admins, support personnel. That's the price. That's it. And it goes obviously based on user sessions, so you can kind of. Yeah. And by the way, we count if you manage what we call general purpose servers in the console, and lots of customers are doing that, adding the web interface servers, PVS, Exchange servers, SQLs, you name it. We are seeing them doing that. So we count each general purpose server as 5 user sessions. Right? So if you have like 1,000 user sessions and 50 servers, you have to purchase like 1,200 user sessions. Yeah, we're not counting the XenApp servers or the XenApp VM, only the non-RDS VDI. Yeah. 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 Okay, that's a fair question, and obviously we do auditing. So auditing is based right now, it's not, we have full auditing. Whenever you do an action, it's logged in the event log of the target computer with all the data, like which user ran the action, on which account, you know, if it failed, if it succeeded, the full data is there. We are working on bringing it into a central location. So you'll have a central location seeing all the historical audit. Right now it's per managed computer. So you can find it, it's event logs. It's really, if you have a syslog or something, anything that gathers events, you can put it in a central place. But right now it's stored on a per target. Yeah, obviously. Good. Oh yeah, this is actually the thing I want to show you right now. But I'm seeing some more question and. Oh no, we have a lot. It's fine. Yeah, we can't. The content will work on this later. Yeah.
Back to where you can restrict the access. How
security policy.
How granular can you get? So you completely disable, like, say, the screenshot feature.
Oh yeah.
For everyone.
Good question. So basically, because the screenshot feature is so sensitive from a privacy point of view, although it's fun, we offer what we call a global environment restriction policy. So we, as the vendor, can basically disable this feature on an environment level without any connection to the console. So this is one thing we can do. And as you can see here, you can do it using the regular security policy. You can disable this feature without user notification across the board for all the groups. Yeah, so we can do that. Okay. Okay, so it's a fair question and does deserve a shot, like all others actually. So currently we don't have any scheduling mechanism, but we do have, and this is shameful. I can't go all the way. We do have, and this is a good time to show it to you. We do have a brand new feature in version 3, which is called Control App Incidents. Right? So can you show them the Add New Incident UI? So up until version 2, we were a full-blown real-time solution. Only real-time, showing you the data. You can obviously do exports. But what we added in 3, and this is pretty interesting, we added a mechanism called incident triggers. And this is the ability to configure rules and detect some stuff happening in your environment, like service crashes, a computer is going down, a server is crossing a stress level, session changes, stuff like that. And this is actually logged into a database. Right, so you can do some historical analysis, and this also includes follow-up actions like sending an email alert. Right, so for example, a basic scenario would be to say whenever a XenApp server is crossing a high stress level, and you know what? Just to explain what the stress level is and why it's so efficient, Eugene, can you show them the stress level column and settings? So a stress level is our control app column, our control app computed column. It's similar to, I guess, load evaluators in a way that it's being affected from all the other metrics. right? CPU, memory, I/O, whatever, and you can configure the weight of each metric on the overall stress level. So you can say CPU weights like 20% of the overall stress level, memory, etc., I/O. You can also, by the way, configure stuff like the Xenap server load can also affect the stress level. So you can say if the Xenap server load is 10,000, then affect the stress level by a factor of whatever, right, 40, 60%. So going back to the incidents, I can configure something like whenever a Xenap server is crossing a critical or high stress level, then obviously log it to the database, but also send me an email alert. Now the data will include all the metrics that affected the stress level incident. So you can see exactly what's going on. Yeah. Yeah. Eugene, what is doing right now?
What did it say? Welcome to the adult website.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry.
Well, can you set a threshold on the number of processes running per user to use a certain application?
Yeah, actually, processes is a metric. So you can configure a threshold based on how many processes the user is running, not specific. Not actually, we can do specific processes. Yeah, actually, let me show you. Let's show them again the add incident. This is, yeah. Yeah, so this is a cool view, by the way. The executables view, this is a view that shows you, instead of showing you like a flat list of all the processes running on your managed end-user computing environment, it shows you an aggregated view for each app. So if you look on iExplore, for example, here you will see immediately how many instances are currently running, what is the overall memory usage, what is the average CPU usage, and this is pretty great for, you know, if you're doing like, for example, upgrades of an application and you want to see the differences in the performance footprint. For example, can you filter it like on iExplore so we can see different? We have here, as you might remember, we have both Xenap 6.5 and Zen Desktop 7.5. So obviously we have IE8 and IE11. So we can quickly see if you go to the average memory per process column there, just scroll a bit right, you can see that, not surprisingly, IE11 consumes 40 megabytes of RAM on average, and opposed to 26 megs of RAM for IE8. But this is the Microsoft way, right, of keep growing their application every version, right? But this is a this is a great place to see that and do some analysis and I guess capacity planning when you're starting a pilot in a new environment. Yes.
Yeah, one good feature is that you go to the user, the fill policy feature.
Right. Thanks. Thanks for mentioning this. This is actually I want. He got one. He got like 10 shot glasses already, I think, during Synergy, with the content.
Yeah,
with the content. So because this is so cool, I want to actually show it to you how it's working. So think about user session management, right? So I know we all top consultants. We never speak with the end users, but from time to time we do have to speak with an end user to see what actually is going on there. Now, assuming you're in an enterprise environment and you want to troubleshoot a user session issue. Now, obviously, you have group policy restrictions in place, right? So the run command is missing. You cannot launch command line, regedit. In this simple example, we basically hidden all the desktop icons, just, you know, so we'll get some quick UI feedback. So what we can do, we can basically choose the relevant session while we're obviously remote assisting that and execute what we call the kill policy. It's a bit aggressive, but we are killing the policy. And so if we go back to the RDP session, you can see now the desktop icons, and you can exactly, and you can, as the one, you know, managing the edges, you can now do some stuff. You can open command line, you can open regedit, you can change proxy settings, do whatever you want, and then simply reapply the group policy. You know, without this, the only way to do that is log off the user session, configure some deny objects on the group policy objects, pray to God that all this is well replicated. Might take like 30 minutes or something, and this just makes it a 10 seconds thing. Basically any registry-based policy, yeah, which is, I think most Citrix policies are registry-based. Only maybe machine computer policies, you know, security policies are not in the same concept. So yeah, also Citrix policies. No, it's killing all policies, but only on that specific user session. It's a per user. So yeah, also Explorer, control panel, proxy.
If you need to troubleshoot
No, it's killing all of them.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a hammer on. So the console itself, yeah, you can run it on a work group, you can run it on a laptop, whatever. Currently, the managed computers must reside in a domain. This is part of the WCF limitations. It's a bit hard to do it without a domain. Yeah. Oh, so again, the console can be run on a laptop. Okay, no problems there. This is how the.
Yeah, that agent would be on their domain.
Oh, you gave him already. We have to work on our sync.
Maybe just mention the script-based actions.
Oh, 2 minutes. Okay.
If they give you their thread.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, this is the basic scenario for it. The managed computers. So obviously the computers that you are managing, Xenap servers and desktop VMs, which, by the way, I think most cases they obviously will be in a domain, right? We have 2 minutes.
We have 2 minutes.
Sorry? Yeah. Right. So it's an important question. So you have to be by default. You have to feed in 80 credentials, and at the minimum by default you have to be a local admin on the managed computer in order to deploy the agent in the first place. So unless you input 80 credentials that are members of the local admin group on the target computers, you won't be able to deploy the agents or do anything or even connect. So even if someone already deployed the agents and someone else is downloading the console and connecting, you won't be able to connect as long as the Windows account running the console is not a member of the local admin group on the target.
So how does
Right?
that work in a delegated admin?
So if you configure delegation, that we bypass that basic test. Again, assuming your NT account is part of one of the delegated groups, then we bypass this test and allowing non-admin account to connect. Right?
Does the service then run as a named account?
It's a system account. Yeah, we have to use that for some of the crazy things we're doing here. We have to use the local system account.
Okay.
Now I know Alex wants to extend our session for 30 minutes more, right?
Yes.
There are many questions?
The way we're going to do this is because they're sponsoring the lunch today, we continue the room is
Okay.
I have one question for you. So
yeah.
it seems there's a lot of interest in the room, and these guys will get a lot of value out of this. And you mentioned the community program.
Yep.
Where these folks could sign up. How do we actually find that?
So we'll do first. You can approach me personally, and I'll say no in a polite way. No, I'm kidding. Obviously, that's right.
don't forget my Swiss account.
Yeah, we are going to send. We'll send an email, and not a spam email, like an email with the details where you can apply after the conference. But it's also web form. I'm not sure we can. We'll send it via email. Yeah. Yeah.
It is.
And I know Brian will write a blog about it with the details, so no problems about it. So do we have like 1 minute left, or?
Listen, you have 30 minutes left on the food.
Okay. Okay, so just one last thing I want to show you before we head to lunch. So script-based action, this is pretty cool, and I think we have some guys here that are really, might be interested in that, and we need your help as a community. So what we did basically, we have built-in actions, right? You've seen them, kill policy, the registry stuff, etc. Customers keep asking for new things, right? Disable logons, delete the user profile, check services, check the broker health, stuff like that. So instead of keep adding new vendor-based actions, we created the mechanism called script-based actions. And Eugene can show you can create a new action, right? Just click on the new button, and then you can obviously give a name and choose the relevant target. This could be a computer, a session, a process, whatever. And when you click on next, you can basically choose one of the popular scripting languages. So we obviously support PowerShell. This is the most, I guess, relevant one today. So you can basically paste any code in here, right? And you can use Control App to execute the actions right from within the console, right? With all the cool features of multi-target selections, credential sets, execution. We have a very nice UI for the execution status. Oh yeah, that's exactly what it does. And we already have a library of like something like, I think, 50 scripts. Obviously Xenaps and desktop things, but we keep extending that. And the idea behind that, and we had a few talks with guys at Synergy, with Carl and some other guys, we kind of, aiming to reach a point where this will be a great one-stop shop for any Citrix-related PowerShell scripts, right? Because basically, whenever you create a script, you can share it with the community, and this will appear in the in the community action tab there. So once you add a new script, and the guys obviously will rate it, and with all the community usual.
You'll create like an app store for all the
Yep, that's the idea.
But this is your repository script.
That's the idea, right? To bring us script. Yeah. So, but yeah, exactly. So the website is public. Anything appearing in the community action is also in a public website. It's not exposed only to control of customers. And by the way, just to, if you mentioned this, we have a fully, full feature version, completely free for up to 50 user sessions, right? So if you manage small lab environments or even, SMB customers, they can use the tool without any cost, up to 50 user sessions. So, and again, we are exposing the library for anyone via the website. So I think this will be a very big thing, as long as we keep, pushing the word and, yeah.
Okay,